In Ois Ches, the Rebbe will continue to explain that l'chayre, what is the difference between the Eser Sfiris Hagenuzis, which is the ponim that is created in Kemayim Haponim, the ponim that is in the Mayim, because we just explained that the Eser Sfiris are not really spheres. They're just merely a yichaylis, a potential that there could be spheres, but they're not spheres. So we're saying that even though we're calling them eser spheres, but they're genuzes, meaning they're just an ability from them to come to spheres. So how does that differ from the mayim itself, the pshitos of Ein Sof, which we're saying that because there can be kemayim haponim leponim, it's from the Ein Sof itself. So already there is that yichaylis. How is the difference? The Rebbe will explain that the yichaylis, the potential for spheres by the Eser Sfiris Hagenuzis, is in the Eser Sfiris Hagenuzis. In the Mayim, in the Pshitas of the Ein Sof, over there, it's not a potential for spheres, but it's a potential for spheres to be in it, the reverse. So therefore, the Pshitas of the Ein Sof is higher because it's not a Yechilas for spheres. It's a Yechilas that the spheres can fit into the Ein Sof, but it's on a higher level. That remains in total level of pshitas. Let's see, it's kind of hard wording over here and concepts over here, but we'll do the best we can. Ches. Before in the Sifim Daled Hey was explained. When we explain the verse, like the face you show into the water is the face you return. So we said the kemoy shebemayim kipshuto, that through, just like literally by water, ayidei hahistaklus bahem, when you gaze, look into the water, niris bahem the mus haponim shemistakelos bahem. So then in the water you see the image of the face that looks at them. Al derech zeh u'b'mayim ha'elyonim. Similarly is also with the waters in the spiritual level of Elyonim, the Mayim Elyonim, which is Pshitus Ein Sof, the Pshitus of Ein Sof. So what are we saying? What happens over there? Shal Yidei Halo Asman de Hasfiris. Through the gazing over there in the water would mean you bring up the Mayim Nukvim of the spheres, that's the level of the Ponim, in the water. So you bring up the man the hasfiras ponim loirin sof by elevating the mayim nukvim into the mayim, into the, which is the ponim, and you bring it up loirin sof to the pshitas nase boy inyan hasfiras. So in the mayim, in the pshitas of Ein Sof, there was made up now the concept of the spheres, the what? The Eser Sfiris Hagenuzis. Okay. Now, we also said, so how could it possibly become Eser Sfiris Hagenuzis in Pshitus Ein Sof? So we said, V'zeh shal yidei ha'alo asman nas Sfiris B'Ein Sof. How could it be that through the halos ma'im nukvim they should become spheres in the pshitis the Ein Sof, umipnei shegam lifnei ze yesh lo shayches lispheres. It is because even before it goes up in the pshitis Ein Sof, we have to say there is some connection to spheres. So basically, we're saying that in the pshitis of Ein Sof, there's a connection to spheres, and this is also bedugmas mayim, similar to the water. How could the water have a reflection of the face? The fact that it visible, the image of the face that looks in the water, because the face and the water is in the same category of mitzias, and therefore that will be a reflection. So if there is Eses Sfiris HaGenuzos created through the Halo Asman in the water, we have to say that the water is in the same category, that it has a connection to the Sfiris. So since the Rebbe says there is a connection to the Sfiris, even in the Pshitus of the Ein Sof, and the Eses Sfiris HaGenuzos are also not Sfiris. They're just a Yecholos for it to come from its Sfiris. So what's the difference between the Pshitus of the Ein Sof and the Eses Sfiris HaGenuzos? But Tzorich Bir, so we need to explain this. The Kivon Shegam Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos. Since also, when we talk about the Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos, we're not talking about real Sfiris over there, which is the Eser is Aponim Anirim B'mayim. What is the face? Those are the Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos that come through the Sarusa de Latata that is visible in the Mayim and the Pshitus Ein Sof. Hemrak Yecholes L'Sfiris. They're just from them an ability. From them come Sfiris Kinis Kalil Siv Zayin, as mentioned earlier in Siv Zayin. Uli Idoch, and on the other hand, we're saying now Gam Ha'oir Ha'in Sof Shelemaylo Meser Sfiris HaGenuzos. Also, the Ein Sof, which is higher than the 10 Sfiris HaGenuzos. They're the Mayim, the Pshitus Ein Sof, Hamayim Shebehem Nir Maponim. That's the face in which the water appears. Yesh Lo Shaychus L'Sfiris. We said it has a connection to the Sfiris. That's why there would be a face shown there. So what's the chilik between the Mayim and the Ponim? What's the chilik between the Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos, which is the Ponim, and the Pshitus of the Ein Sof? The Ponim is not really, it's only a potential for Sfiris. And the Mayim itself has a Shaychus to Sfiris. So what's the difference? So the Rebbe explains, we can say the explanation. The Rebbe says, even though something is only a potential, Eses Sfiris HaGenuzos were a potential, but still means that there is a shaykhs to that mitzias, as opposed to the Pshitus of Ein Sof doesn't even have that until it's actually gets the face. That's when the connection is made. Let's see inside. We can say the explanation. The inyan hayichoiles al eizadover who, when you say something could happen, which is hadover yochelis, that it could be. This is even more than the tzur in eishach halomish, which is bekoyach. What we're talking about, there is nothing, it's just that from it can come out something. Just that it's able is not a source for the matter. What is yecholis means, which this is the Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos. They're merely yecholis. The inyone huzeh, what it is shahetzem hu yochel. It just means that this essence has the ability. As known, the difference between a power, which the power means it has the potential, but it's a power already, and Yecholos means it has the ability, but it's not a power yet. I mean, the Rebbe has discussed it actually earlier in the Maimer as well. Okay, so we're talking about only Yecholos, but yet the Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos being only Yecholos, but still Zesha Etzem Yochel. The fact that the Etzem is able, who shall be Yecholos Etzem Sheyiyeh Kach v'Kach. That means that it is in the ability of the Etzem to be such and such. It has a Yecholos. So this is already Eser Sfiris HaGenuzos over there. But when we talk about the Pshitus of Ein Sof, the Mayim, but V'hashayich is the Ein Sof L'Sfiris. But we said, but it's still, you could not have the Sarusa de Latata, the Ponim in the Mayim, if the Mayim had no Shayches to the Sfiris B'chlal. But it's on a different level than the level even of Yecholos. Because the Shayches of Ein Sof L'Sfiris, to the Sfiris, which is the Mayim Leponim, to Ponim, it's not because Ein Sof can be Sfiris. That's already Eser Sfiris HaGnuzah. That's the ponim. Elo Adrabah. The connection is only Shetzir HaSfiris Yochel B'Eir Sof. It's not that from Eir Sof can be Sfiris, but the Sfiris can be in the Eir Sof. It's not a connection that from it can be Sfiris, but rather that there is Sfiris that can be in Eir Sof. Once the Eibishter had gemacht sein Rotzen, when he made up his Rotzen, that these Eisarusa Dilatata, the Allah's man should affect him, he allowed for that image to be in the Mayim, that ponim in the Mayim. That is the connection, so that the ponim should be able to be shining inside of the Mayim and the Pshitus. But it's not that the Mayim is the Yecholis for the ponim. So the Shetzir HaSfiris Elo Adrab, Shetzir HaSfiris Yocheli B'Eir Sof. That the Sfiris can be in the Eir Sof, but not the Eir Sof is not have a Yecholis for the Sfiris. Even that is already not Pshitas L'Chayra, because we're saying that it has an ability, and that's the Shaykhis of the Mayim, the Pshitas Ein Sof, that it could allow for a tzir to be in the Ein Sof. Agam shegam inyan zeh, hu yirid l'gaba Ein Sof, k'moshu mitzad atzmei. This is also a descent relative to the Ein Sof as it is on its own, which doesn't even allow for a tzir or to be made in the pshitus of the Ein Sof. The Ein Sof mitzad atzmei. In the Ein Sof mitzad itself, there is no relation at all to Sfiris. Ukinal Sif Hey, and as we said before in Sif Hey, Shual Derech Hasvora Sichlis Shein Lo Shum Shaychis Im Gavne. It's like saying a intellectual idea has no connection to colors, loivim v'oidim, to white and red. Hello. So it's higher. It's B'emes Ein Sof has no connection. When is this connection relationship built that the Sfiris can be in the Ein Sof? So it's a Yerida. After it went up in Hashem's will that the Mayim Nukvim of the Sfiris should be important. So that became a connection to the Sfiris, so which means from the Pshitas it descended into that Rotzin that the Sfiris can have a connection. But Mikol Mokoim Hatfisas Mokoim da Allah's man, but still, this that he said that it should, this that Hashem wanted that it should be a Tfisas Mokoim, is not that the Ein Sof in Pshitas there is a Tfisas Mokoim, even a Yechelis for Sfiris. But Mikol Mokoim Tfisas Mokoim, da Allah's man da Hasfiris. What is the Tfisas Mokoim, which is the connection to the Sfiris in the Pshitas Ein Sof? Da Allah's man da Hasfiris hu shaman shalohem yitfes Mokoim etzli. It's only that the Mayim nukvim shalohem there is Sfiris should take place by him. That was the Rotzen. Shal yidei ha'alo atiyam shochas ein sof. That through the law be am shochas ein sof. V'lochein ha'shaychus. So therefore, it is only that the halo will bring down an hamshocha from ein sof. V'lochein ha'shaych is the ein sof l'sfiris. So the connection that the ein sof has to the sfiris. Shenasis, how does the connection become? Because he wanted that it should, and it takes a room, it impacts. And that is that it should be able to be a Sfiris. And here is the difference between the Sfiris HaGenuzis and the Pshitus of the Ein Sof. In the Eses Sfiris Hagenuzes, it's called Sfiris over there. For the Yecholos, that from it will come Sfiris, but from by the Pshitus Ein Sof, didn't create anything, but it's the Ein Sof itself to allow for the Rebbe says now. V'lachein hayicholos lisfiris, just the potential so that spheres can come. Yicholos, not koyach, yicholos, the highest level, just potential can come out. But the yicholos spheres, kivon shinyon hi sheyochel li spheres. But end of the day, it is that it could be spheres. Nikra b'shem spheres, we still call it spheres. As spheres agnosis, the hidden spheres. There's also the language of separation. He separated the 10 shemes. And even more than this, the Elo alidei halos manda sfiris. So this is the potential. It is hard solo, and the fact that in the Ein Sof there can be even a yechelis for sfiris, it's not because of the Ein Sof, but is the halos manda sfiris, and therefore it's connected to the Esesfiris because it comes from the Esesfiris, it comes from the Allah from the Sfira. But on the other hand, when we talk about the Pshitas of the Ein Sof, by Yerida Kavayochel Ba'ir Sof, but that we're saying that it has a shaykhis to the Sfiris. It has to have a shaykhis to the Sfiris. That's why it can be the ponim in the Pshitas, in the Mayim. So there has to be a connection. That this descent, that it should be in a way, that through the halos man there should be seeing the face of the spheres. That should be, and that descent, that connection to the spheres. There was nothing created in the pshitas. The pshitas remains pshitas. Elahu Ein Sof atzmai. Unlike the shemes over there that were netzel, this Ein Sof himself. Dugmas hamayim, similar to the water, shem ba'ifun kazeh, shenirus b'em ponim hamistakelos b'em, similar to the water, that they're in such a way that you can tell them the face that looks in them. That's all the Eibishter made, that you should be able to see that, so that the face should show there, that the spheres should be there, but not something. There's no spheres in the Ein Sof, not even in the Yecholos. It's a very difficult concept, and need to go it over again and again. But for now, this will suffice. Oistes. The Maimorim, it's explained shahaponim hanirim bahamayim, that the face that is visible in the water, since they come because of the face that looks in them, but it's not from the water. They are not something separate from the water, but they're the water themselves. There's nothing, the face that is in the water is because of the face that you're looking at. But so it's not, there's nothing new, there's the water itself. If the face that is visible came from the extent from the water, then it would be something separate that has been created from the water. Like fish in the water, they come from the water. But since the face that is visible is not from the water, They're not something different that has been created from the water, but they're the water themselves. So the same thing is in the nimshal. The kivon the The reason why in the Ein Sof there are the 10 hidden spheres. That comes from the haloas man, from the mayim nukron of the spheres. The lotion is have a Ein Sof. It's not that they have been created in Ein Sof. Lochein Einom davar nivdal ma'ir sof. So therefore, this ponim, which is in the mayim, in mayim el yonim, the spheres agnuzes, are not something distinct, different ma'ir sof. Elahu oirin sof atzmai, but this is the oirin sof itself. So we're talking about now, according to this, in the essence, the bichitzonius in yonam who. That externally, their essence spheres, they can come, potential for them can come spheres. But really, what are they? They're Ein Sof, they're the water. Earlier in Sif Dalet, it was explained the Mayim Aponim Laponim Shnei Yonim. When your face, the image, and the water, there's two aspects. First, that the image of the face that looks in the water is visible in the water. And so in the water, and that image appears to the person that looks at them. So the mus is in the water, and it appears to the person that looks at them. Hainu. That the image that the person is that image that is in the water. Similar to that nimshal. The ponim hatachtonim, that through the haloas man of the lower face, that's called the Atzilus. That's the face of Atzilus. By this elevation, the Eser Sfiras Atzilus, Nasim Ponim, Eser Sfiras Agnuzas Bahamayim, that creates the face, which is the 10 hidden Sfiras. In the Mayim, in Pshitus the Ein Sof, in the Pshitus of the Ein Sof. Ba'achar kach, Nipshochim u'mizgalim, Aponim ha'elyonim, Sheb'mahamayim, then it extends and it is revealed. This up or the ponim al yoin, which is in the water, eser sfiras hagnuzes milmailo lemato, from above to below, umizenasim ponim atachtoinim, from that becomes the lower face, the eser sfiras, the atzilus, the 10 sfiras of atzilus. Hainu the shenyonim, the eser sfiras hagluyas bipnimiyas, who what is the essence? What is the idea of the 10 spheres that are gluyas in inner? What they are, who are gilui, the essence spheres agnuzes. They are really revealing the 10 hidden spheres. The dugmas, the mus haponim haniris laodom hamistakel b'hamayim, similar to the image of the face to the person that is looking at the water. Shehi had the mus haniris b'hamayim. That is the image that seemed the water, the essence for the sagnuzis. So that is really ultimately what the essence for the sagluyus is, that it's reflecting from that, the mus, which is in the mind, which is the essence for the sagnusis. And we said before, Shad Musa Niris Ba'mayim Hiamayim Atzma. We said it's not created from the water, but that's part of the water itself. The Muslim Mayim Hiamayim Atzma. Move on. So from that we understand that even the lower face, as the spheres that Atzilus, the 10 spheres that Atzilus Glui, Shemagilui, the Ponim HaElyonim, which are really revealing the Ponim HaElyonim because they're the mus from the Ponim HaElyonim. In Yonam Apnimi Humayim Pshitus De'erin Sof. And their inner idea is really Mayim, the Pshitus of the Ein Sof. So Why do we say Kemayim Aponim Leponim Ken Lev Ha'odom La'odom? So the Rebbe says, Apizeh Yuvon Mashakosuv Kemayim Aponim Leponim Ken Lev Ha'odom La'odom. The Kemoi Shebemayim Shitus De Insof, just like by Mayim, which is the Pshitus De Insof. Aidei Halo As Mayim Nukva Nasi Bahem Ponim Spheris, through the elevating of the Mayim Nukvim, they make up and then Ponim make Spheris Agnuzis, but that brings about Spheris. The same thing is by the Odom HaElyon, by the level of Atzilus, through the bringing of the Mayim Nukvin of the Odom HaTachton, of the person below, that makes the shape and the image of the lower person in the Odom HaElyon. It would seem the musham is aponim hamistakeles bohem. Why do we see in water the image of the face that looks in? Is because the water is simple. But when you look at something that has a shape, the shape of that item, that contradicts the shape of the face that looks in it, as we said earlier, but so since the Odom Elyon, Tesra are in a level of a shape, how could you bring the Odom HaTachton? There is a contradiction because it is shaped already. When which is Pshitus, you can bring up the Halos Man from the Spheris, but how could you bring up the Halos Man from the Odom into the Odom Elyon, into Atzilus, which is already shaped? The explanation in this through this service of the person below, Mizgalis Hapnimis the Odom Elyon, that is reveals the inner of the Odom Elyon. Eser Spheris the Atzilus, the Eser Spheris of Atzilus, that they really, because we said before, the Odom Elyon is really also Pshitas. Atzilus, their idea is to reveal the 10 Spheris Agnuzis, Ponim Anirim B'mayim, as we learned just before. We're saying that the Mayim is actually Pshitavei Sof. Through the work of the Odom HaTachton, reveals happening is the Odom HaElyon. That is actually Ein Sof, it's Pshitas. Shuab Pshitas the Ein Sof, after Lias boy, Hatzir the Odom HaTachton. That's why there could be in it the tzir of the Odom HaTachton. So according to this, we can say that it's not just like, but it's the reason. The kamayim aponim leponim hu gam tam ibir al kain leiv ha'odom la'odom. That because the mayim aponim leponim is also a reason that explains the leiv ha'odom la'odom, the change, the atzilus of the mayim nukva of the odom to the atzilus. The inyan mayim aponim leponim, the idea of the mayim aponim leponim ushaponim hatachtoinim, that the lower ponim hanirim mechutz lemayim, that the face of the tachtonim which is visible outside of the water, eser shagluyis, hemchad im haponim halyonim hanirim ba'mayim, they are really one with the ponim halyonim which is visible in the water as Sfiras Agnusus. But to the extent shemchadim hamayim atzma pshita ein sof. Not only that, but it's with the pshita ein sof, because it comes from the mayim, like we said before. It's not separate from the mayim. It's not created. It's not like the fish. It's in the water itself. Pshita ein sof. Zeu atama leva odom la'odom. That's why there can be also the lev od la'odom, sheba'odom ha'elyon nasa tzir d'odom ha'tachten, that in the odom elyon can become the tzir of odom ha'tachten. So how could it become? It's because in essence the ponim elyonim are really the ponim elyonim are really one thing with the water, with the asfiras agnosis, and they're not really shaped, and they're not really a tzir, and therefore the leva odom can shape them and bring about the tzir of odom matach. That the alpia mavur le'il sivov, based on what we said before, is about the zeh she'olah b'ritzoynei shehamshocha de l'maylo tiya al yidei yisarusa de l'tato. We said that the Eibishter wanted that the Amshocha from above should be through the Yisrusa Tato, Kishoyre she Yisrusa de Letato, who Ba'atzmus Eirin Sov, because the root of Yisrusa is in the Atzmus Eirin Sov, Shalamai Lagama Eir, which is on a higher level, Kameshu Mitzad Atzmai, Koidim Sha'ol Birtzayni Yisrusa de Letato. That's even higher than the oil which is on its own before the Ritzoynoi Tata, but the Shoyresh is even higher in Atzmus, because Yidna Meshresh in Atzmut. So you have the Sarusa, the Rotzin of Hashem, then you have two, should be a Sarus Tata, then you have the oil before there was the Ritzoynoi, but the Shoyresh of Yisrusel Tatu is in Atzmus. So Yesh Leimar, the noise of Lazesh al Yidei HaAvodah Odom HaTachten. In addition to what we just said, that through the service of Odom HaTachten, Mizgala HaPnimius Odom Elyon, that actually reveals the Pnimius Odom Elyon. Show Chadim Apshitus the Ein Sof, that he's really one with the Pshitu Ein Sof. K'moishu B'chinas Mayim, the Mayim Haponim. But then we're talking about the Pnimis of Odom Elyon is really with the Ein Sof as it is Mayim, but Mayim itself is a Oyer Sheyesh Lo Shayches L'Tziur. It's an Oyer that has a connection to you. Similar to literally Marim, before you look at them, the water, even before you look, has the potential to, if a person looks at there, he'll get the face. That's the level of Mayim. It's an oil which is shayches to tzir. But now we're saying it's even higher, it's an atzmos. Through the Avodah Odom Tachten, based on Sivav, then you have the revelation of the essence of the Sof, which is even higher than the Oyer which is on its own, which is before the Rotzin Livroi, but still it's an Oyer that has a Shayches. But here we're talking about the person is rooted in the Atzmus, which is in higher from that. Yud. V'hinei ha'avodah shal yodam mizgala ha'pnimis de'odam ha'elyon. What is the work that through it is revealed the inner of the Odom ha'elyon? That we just said that this is all really Ein Sof, it's Atzmus. Ibechlolus ha'avodah the biru nefesh habamis is in generally the work, the service of sorting out the animal soul. The fact that the 10 spheres that are revealed externally is that they are something separate that were created from the 10 spheres of gnuzas. That's because of the curtain, the 10 hidden spheres to the 10 revealed spheres. But by days, through the refinement of the animal soul, that refines that curtain shebein l'maylo matzilus, in between the partition, the curtain that is which is above atzilus, eses sfiras agnuzas, va'atzilus and atzilus es sfiras agluyas, between these knuzas and the gluyas, between higher than atzilus and atzilus. By days and nirgash begilui ba'eser sfiras atzilus, and that way it's felt open, the revealed way in the 10 sfiras of atzilus, shehei magilui the eser sfiras agnuzas, that they are really the revelation of the 10 sfiras agnuzas. Ukenal, as we said before, shahaponim shebemayim heim hanirim la'odam, that the face and the water are themselves visible to the person. So that gluyas, the essence sfiras gluyas, are the essence sfiras agnuzas. Loisif, to add through sorting out and refining the animal soul, so that brings about a refinement of all curtains. But also refinement of the first tzimtzum. That also brings a connection. The eser sfiras hageluyas im eser sfiras hagenuzas, with the 10 sfiras hagenuzas, not only on the lower level of the sfiras hagenuzas, who im kol hadargos shebeser sfiras hagenuzas, all of the levels in eser sfiras hagenuzas, because the refinement goes through all of the curtains. Koilil gam eser sfiras hagenuzas shelifnei hatzimtzum, also including the 10 sfiras that are hidden, that are before the tzimtzum. And the same thing is on the other hand. This is to the highest level, but it also goes down to the lowest level. On the other side, through the refinement of the animal soul, you're also refining that curtain between Atzilus and Biyah. The Ikar Helm of the Parsazu, the main helm is through that curtain. And that way becomes the connection by the parsa between Atzilus and Biyah, the connection of the Matach and the Elyon. Ba'avoida shal yoda nimshach hagilui the atzmus eirin sof, and the work through which we bring down the revelation atzmus eirin sof, hi ha'avoida shemitzad haneshama. That is the work of the neshama. This we're talking birur the nefesh habahamis. Shalamayla meislapshus beguv nefesh habahamis, which is beyond dressing up in the body nefesh habahamis. The bechlolus who avoida the rusad libo. That generally is the rotzin halev. Kizeh shal yidei avoida the Yisrael nimshach gilui atzmus eirin sof. That the fact that this connects the Adam Matach, but to connect with the atzmus, that comes through the usud the libo. But we say that the avoida Yisrael nimshach gilui atzmus eirin sof. That is because of the neshamas. Why do we touch atzmus? It's because of the neshama. That hamshacha is to the rotzen halev. So the gilu atzmus comes through the rotzen halev, and the zichuch and bitter nefesh habahamis, that refines all the curtains to connect us with the other levels up to atzmus, but atzmus comes through the rotzen Allah, because that's the milas of the neshama which touches the atzmus. So what is the novelty that has been came about Matan Torah b'pam harishono the first time? Similar in Matan Torah every year. Shnei inyonim, two things. Hamshachas v'gilu atzmus eirin sof l'Yisrael, to bring down, to draw down and reveal the essence of Ein Sof to every Yid. Anoichi Hashem Elikecha. V'amshochas gilui zeh. How do we bring Huayderu Usataliba? That comes through Ratzon Alev. And then Ubitul Hagzeira V'amechitza Ben Elyonim Tachtonim. And then the nullification to take away the decree and the partition between Elyonim and Tachtonim V'chol Oilamis in all worlds. V'amshochas gilui zeh. And how do we mamshech this gilu ha'idei birur nefesh habahamis is through the sorting out of the animal soul. Therefore, b'sfiras ha'imer, and sfiras ha'im shi'achone l'matan Torah, that is prepimat der tzor chalil shnei ha'inyon. We need both. Birur hamid is the nefesh habahamis, to sort out the emotional nefesh habahamis, v'ha'ava, the b'chol meidecha, and the love b'chol meidecha rusa d'liva. The Rebbe is still talking about before. V'zehu mashe kosuv, svartum lechem, goymer meyem avichem es oimer hatnufa. Should count from when you bring the oimer hatnufa. Gomeda inyan oimer hatnufa hu kameshe kosuv. What is the idea of a heinif es oimer l'rtzoinchem? So what is the tnufa l'rtzoinchem? L'rtzoinchem hu rusa d'libo. That's the rotzen alev. Val yidei rotzen zeh da odom. Through that, the rotzen of the person oisim mamshich l'rtzoin shel moker. You get the level of rtzoin shel moker through the rotzen alev. V'zehu imosei timhein tmimes bizman she'Yisrael oisim rtzoin shel moker. That is when they tmimes, when they do rotzen shel moker. This is the real tmimis amitis hashlemis, the true completeness, because with the rotzen alev we also get the atzmos. This is a unusual chassidisha with a lot of jargon, needs to be reviewed many times, and then you still need to understand the inyonim that the Rebbe speaks about.